I am content creator Joey Garrity. I'm the founder of Superstar Women Entrepreneurs Media Network and Joey G113. I'm dedicated to empowering women entrepreneurs to create a beautiful, personal, and professional lifestyle by spotlighting superstar tools, tips, and resources that gain them ease and grace. Every episode, myself, along with a featured guest, share our Superstar Women Entrepreneurs journey on my globally recognized show, Superstar Women Entrepreneurs Spotlight with Joey. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Superstar Women Entrepreneurs with Spotlight with Joey. I have an amazing guest on today. We've known each other for a while, and she is a trailblazer. Let me tell you, she's doing incredible things. She's also an Instagram influencer. I just dig her entire vibe. She's all about empowering women. So you know I had to have her on the show, right? So I just want to talk a little bit more about what we're doing here and here on the show. I'm all about finding women entrepreneurs out there that share their superstar tips, strategies, and tools and resources with all of you so you can take yourself as an entrepreneur woman next level out there in the marketplace. Today is How to Be a Trailblazer with Samantha Parker. Let me tell you a little bit about Samantha Parker. She is so cool. So Samantha Parker offers custom digital services to an exclusive and incredible select group of highly successful business owners. She also has a podcast dedicated to supporting you and your journey to self love every day. We're going to be talking more about her podcast because I went and took a spin and it's fantastic. But I'm going to bring her up from the green room. Hey, Samantha, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm so glad that you're here. I want to just jump right in, and I do want to share with everyone about your book, The Glitter, a tell all journey, a journal for creating and finding your glitter. There we go. So it's so cool. I went and looked at your book cover. It was super cool. So I wanted to share that right off the bat. So let's jump right in. So can you first just tell us what about the book? Like, I love the title.
So, the glitter to me is the name of my podcast as well. And I talk about glitter a lot. I think the glitter is just finding something special in the mundane, everyday point of life, right? Yep, they're the glitter. Because I feel like life gets really boring for me, especially, and for my own mental health. Like every day I have to get up and be like, okay, what's something super special that I can see about the day? And that's like what really gets me through it. And it can be something stupid. Like sometimes I get really fascinated by birds. But it's looking for the magic in everyday life. So I wanted to write a book about it.
Well, you know what else I love about this too is that you put yourself on the cover.
Of course.
No, well, I know that's a course for you because I've known you for a long time, but it's not a course for a lot of people out there. You know what I mean? A lot of women out there, right? I also put myself on my second cover too, and let me tell you, it took a lot of courage, though. I had to dig deep for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I've gotten used to like taking my picture, and I know a lot of women will struggle with self-confidence. And I think when you work in social media like I do, you get really good at it. I used to get really nervous, I would have to like spend a bunch of time getting ready. And now it's like I'll take a video wherever. But social media has also gotten a little more ratchet, as I say, where like you can go viral in your car. Like you don't have to look a certain polished way. But I do really like that photo.
I love this photo. Like, this photo to me, like, screams you, right?
Mhm.
I was like, she's like, "Hey, do you see me? Here I am. I'm standing in my spotlight. You should stand in yours too." So bravo. I just am such a huge fan of this photo.
Thank
I wanna
you.
jump into your share because I tell you, I think this share is so spot on. I was like, "Yes, sister." When you say, "I stopped chasing side projects as a way to prove my worth and focused on what I was really good at."
Yeah, that's something that I kept doing throughout my business. And you've watched me do it, where the core of what I've always done is digital marketing and social media, and I'm really good at it. But I would constantly be like, oh, I need to create this other thing and create this other thing and create another and another. You guys, it was like 8 years of this shit. Okay. And so I kept creating all these like side projects. And one day it was like I woke up and I was like, what are you doing? And I had to get really like down to the root of it. So, and I realized that I was just constantly trying to prove myself like again and again and again instead of just standing in my own spotlight of what I'm good at.
Well, I say cheers to that. This is one of Samantha's imageries too, one of her lifestyle shots. And I was like, I love this image of the bubbly with the disco balls. Can you just tell us a little bit about the disco balls? Because you got disco balls in a lot of your style images out there, and I think it's so cool.
I just love them. They just make me happy, right? And I think when you see it, you think like fun, and maybe you think party. And honestly, that's like what I think we should look at our life as, is like fun, party, like let's go, you know?
Yeah, you do. You have a way about yourself where you're very at ease about celebrating your life all the time. And that's another reason why I was so attracted to having you on the show. I want people to see that you can have a business and still have fun, still have a good time with your business out there. And you're showing that all the time.
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be days where you're like, "What the hell's going on?" But I think at the end of the day, like, you can still just, like, be you. You know, I think we see a lot of, like, marketers show up in this weird way, and, like, that's burned down to the ground. We get to be ourselves.
Thank you. I want to roll a little B clip of this because this is you like having fun with business. And that's why I was
These
so
are actually, yeah, and the ladies are the first of this. Those are actually my clients. I was like, "Do you wanna just get in my Jeep?"
Samantha, you're awesome.
This is what a weekend of my life looks like as a social media manager. And yes, technically I was working on Friday when I took my clients out jeeping to the river. Did I get sunburn? Of course I did. Saturday morning started out with a little bit of a hustle because I woke up and decided that we must attend the farmer's market immediately. I love the freedom of being a social media manager because basically I get to work on my own. It also means that I've become very disciplined in everything that I do, and I always make sure I film my entire day because everything is content, you guys, everything. After I grabbed a matcha, we headed over to Star Nursery and picked out some new plants. And I got to try this delicious bread I picked up in jam from the farmer's market. And this is the work discipline I was talking about. I completed a ton of promotional graphics for my client's upcoming launch. I got some quick edits in for an email campaign, and then I headed over to a pool party with my family. The weather was amazing and it felt so good just to enjoy some sunshine.
I love that. I love how you talk about content is everything.
Yeah, I mean, everything is content. I think people think that if they're going to show up online, it's going to take like crazy amounts of effort, crazy amounts of work. And I'm like, just turn your phone on, you know?
I know, and I have to say, I love this reel of yours because I thought it was so authentic. You were just like, you know what, I'm at ease. I'm going to take people with me, and I thought that that was brilliant. What I hear from a lot of people out there is, "Oh my God, it's so exhausting and it's taking so much time and so much effort." What would you say to them? Please say something to them because it drives me crazy when people say this to me.
Yeah, and you're seeing a lot of people right now, they're like, "It's so heavy online," and I'm like, "Well, where the hell are you at?" You know, the algorithm curates what you're looking at on Instagram and especially TikTok, so I'm like, "Well, you know, you can fix that really fast." I know it is, like, essentially, like, air quotes, "some work," right? Meaning, like, you're gonna have to put in some effort to see some results, but it gets easier the more you do it. You know, it's just like if you were going to pick up like a workout routine, you're going to get better and better as you go along, and it does become super easy. And you know, a lot of people are like, I don't know how to use the app, I'm too old. I'm like, what? You know, um I'm like, I had to sit down on my couch and be like, what is this TikTok thing? You know, and I was like, oh, like literally just had to go for it. And some of my videos are shit and it doesn't matter. You know,
Right.
it's like if we want a certain result and I want something in my life, I'm going to have to get over that.
I love that piece. Thank you. That's such a great piece of wisdom. And I have Samantha at a party right now, and she's literally like shooting it. And I love that. And again, she makes her job fun. Got to make your job fun. Enjoy your life, right? I love that piece of wisdom because truly agree too. I have people ask me all the time, "How do you know this platform?" I said, "I didn't know it.
Yeah.
I didn't know it. I sat down and I watched a dozen YouTube videos on it, right? Stopped, paused, and did it step
Mhm.
by step by step,
I
right?
still do that all the time.
I did it all the time too. I'm just like, "I don't know how to do this," right? And they're like, "But you know," so I said, "But I didn't. I didn't know how to do all this. I'm telling you." And it's everything's learned. I just learned how to use an AI app that's genius about turning your podcast into these blog components so you can grab your guest quotes, which I'll be doing with you, right? I didn't know how to use that. I went on YouTube.
Exactly. The other day, I just wanted to figure out how to, like, use iMovie. This is gonna sound funny, but I'd never used it, and I was like, I just couldn't figure out, like, I couldn't figure out how to get the clip down to, like, the storyboard. And I watched like 3 YouTube videos and I was like, "Oh, that was so freaking easy." But it's little things like that where we can be like, "It's too hard, it's too hard. It's not for me. I tried." And it's like, "Well, how many more times are you gonna live that way?" You know?
I agree, I agree. I love this tip. I shared this with my membership group. I do a monthly membership, a training, and I said, "You all have an Instagram influencer coming on. Do you wanna know her tip?" And they're like, "Yes." "What's your tip?" I said, "Consistency will always win." And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Best empowering tip ever, Samantha. Let's talk about this tip."
And a lot of people are like, "Well, what time of the day should I post at?" And blah, and I'm like, "Why does it
I'm
even
like, "Ugh."
matter? It doesn't matter at
I'm
all."
like, "Post what you want."
Yeah, being consistent in anything will win. It's like, we both got water bottles. And I'm like, if I didn't consistently drink my water, it wouldn't do anything for me. It's like one day a week you drink water, you'd be dead.
It's so true, but it's so simple, but it's so empowering, isn't it? I love the shot of you and how you did the setup with all your props. So I have my props, right? I have my props, right? That I love, right? And I love how you did the setup here and you're showing them behind the scenes of how your camera's here, you have your light ring, right? You've got all your props around you and you're going for it. You're going for it.
Yeah, I love this photo too. My friend who's a photographer, she took it, and so she actually made that disco ball like champagne bottle, and then she like made the cake and brought it with her. But whenever I do photo shoots, and I will go like to clients like photo shoots if they're doing content, and I'm like, we like more like bring in the stuff that you love, like let's have fun and make it interesting to look at.
Yes, I actually love this bottle, I really do. It's, Life Factory, and I love it because I like this color. But also too, the reason that I put it in my shows is because it helps break up the camera view, right? It has something else in here that still makes sense for my brand because I love everything to be chic and cool, and I like pink like you. So, I saw that you were loving pink. I was like, "Oh, a girl after my heart. She likes pink like I do."
I love
Um,
pink. I love
I
this
did
stuff.
I know you do. I was like, "She's got a pink phone." I'm like, "Where did she get the pink phone?" I'm like, "I need this pink phone immediately."
Amazon.
I said, "What else can I bring in?" I'm gonna start bringing in all these different other props.
I was like, I threw it on the floor, but yeah.
Right? Here's mine. Mine is the Beverly Hills hotel logo because
That
it's like
feels
my
very
favorite hotel in the entire world, and it's my favorite logo. I wanna share another B-roll with everyone out there. I think that this is so interesting how you did this. Alright,
Oh,
let's
so
I love this B-roll. I love the short of your you put the music, you're doing this, and you're showing again, you're breaking the wall, the camera, the right wall between us, and you're showing how you're talking and you're just being your authentic self.
yeah, I think behind the scenes is some of the most powerful content because for so long we were looking at, Instagram as this like perfectly curated feed and it like killed me right from the get-go. I was like, "Oh, I just always wanted something deeper." And now I feel like we can show people little bits of our lives. And again, I do realize that we're still curating it to a certain degree, but like I'm like fascinated watching these girls just like go to work and do different things and I feel like for the first time like we're actually being social and connecting.
I do too, and I came out, Ross Brand has a book, 100 predictions, by the online influencers, and my prediction is that in 2023, we will become the new real reality stars.
Mhm.
In reality, I even predict that Bravo, places like Bravo will have to start showing shows in real time. The days of us watching Christmas 6 months ago don't interest me. Don't interest me in
Or,
that.
like, how they, like, do the, like, housewives, how they set it up so much and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I know, right? And it's just like, "Oh, they're Easter," and I'm like, "What Easter?" I'm like, "My God, we're past," that kind of craziness. I really do truly believe that we are because people can emotionally connect with us. I believe that by us also sharing our ups and our downs, which you're great at, Samantha, you're really great at authentically sharing about your journey and about how everything is not unicorn and roses. It's not.
No.
I have a question here that came to me this morning. As a trailblazer, what has been one of the challenges that you've had to overcome?
I think one thing, and it's something like I'm constantly going through, is the self-doubt, right?
Mhm.
So
Me too.
it's that I'm not far enough along. I haven't like done what she does. I don't have enough of this or that. And so there's constantly a lot of self-doubt being thrown at you.
Mhm.
And I just I'm gonna put that in front of my computer and be like, you bitch, you get your ass out there.
That's why I picked it, because I was like, I want people to know that even I suffer from low self-esteem,
Yeah.
right? And I talk about this all the time now on my shows. I want people to know I suffer from low self-esteem. I want them to know, but I do it anyways. I show up anyways.
And that's it. It's I show up anyways. So just like that video you just showed, it's like, of course, there's things that are always going through my mind. Like, why are my lips that way? Or like, I should work out harder, or I should do this, or I should have said that. But I show up anyways. I'm going to show up because my end goal, and I don't really even know what that is, to be honest, but I don't want to play small. I know that. Like, I don't want to wake up every day and be like, I wish I'd done it. I hope I did it. So it doesn't matter what's going on in my goddamn head. I'm going to show up anyways.
Good for you, Samantha. I'm gonna ask you, is it okay if I switch this image out for your other headshot for the marketing image?
Um,
Because
whatever you want.
this image is so cool and interesting and right on brand, right? So I'm gonna
I'm like,
switch
what is
this
it? I
out.
gotta see.
I'm gonna switch this out. People are gonna be like, "Whoa." I'm like, "Yes, this is cool." I'm gonna start asking all of my guests to start sending me, like, their, like, over the top images and, like, switch it, and so things are, like, interesting and fun. Yeah, I'm just such a fan of this image.
I'm like, what
Um,
is it?
I know you're cool like that, but you would be surprised, not everyone's that cool. Like, I would literally, like, get calls, like, in the middle of the night from people. They're like, "Where'd you get," I said, "You sent me that." What's the problem? And who cares? Who cares, right?
Mhm.
Okay, I wanna do a share here. I wanna share about, jump into the live stream podcast arena. I think that is my number one biggest biz tool tip right now for any woman entrepreneur out there. Jump in now. There, people are watching between 60 and 120 minutes a day of video.
Live,
That's
like live video.
yeah,
Oh,
that's like
that's cool.
mind blowing. That just came out in Forbes magazine. Yeah, it's mind blowing. I was like, oh yeah, I believe it. Oh, I absolutely believe it.
That's super interesting. Because I record on my podcast, but I've never thought about like streaming them live.
Yes, sister. You mean, wait a second. So when I went to your podcast, but are you sharing your video too with your podcast?
I
No,
don't.
it's just
Yeah.
the audio,
Sometimes
right?
I'll like prop my phone up and like record myself recording part of a podcast and like use it for social media.
Okay.
But yeah, that's it.
Oh my god, yeah, so that's what my network's doing, so and then we're scraping the audio because of the bumpers, right? And so then we go straight into podcast because in the network that I launched, there's no editing allowed. None. No editing allowed. Because I feel that there's over editing out there, okay? First of all, it's crazy time, which we don't have, and second of all, it's not authentic. You
That's
know
true.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, "My god, how many hours?" I was at Podfest, people were telling me how many hours they were editing, I'm like, "Stop. Stop editing so much." It's just we don't have that many hours in the day, right? But
No.
yes, I say anyone, all your audience, all you entrepreneur women out there, they're like, "What should I be working on my business?" I'm like, "Live stream/podcast, jump into the arena now. It has not been oversaturated yet, but it will be. But if you jump in now, I'm telling you, it's this huge game changer, huge game changer."
That's awesome.
Yes, I have another question for you here. Um, yes, I wanted to ask you this. Um, what as a trailblazer, what's happened for you and your company brand that has surprised you?
As far as like opportunities,
Yeah, just to surprise you, like, wow, I didn't see that coming.
there's so many all the time. I'm like, oh shit, am I doing that? You go to pause sometimes.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest things that surprised me was they got in. Well, I started working with a company who has a Netflix documentary coming out, and their documentary revolves around human trafficking.
Oh,
And so I traveled with them. I went to Ireland. I went to Belize. I was just down in Vegas, which to me that doesn't feel like traveling. I'm like, Vegas is like right there, but but I got to like follow their journey, and I've been following it of this documentary that'll come out, and that like really surprised me. Like I did not see myself having those kind of opportunities.
I am like, okay, that's close to my heart. Please, send me over the link to all that because
Yeah,
I'll be
I
happy to share it out there. Because human trafficking is one of my go-tos in terms of, um, tithing, right?
yeah. I
Um
haven't their documentary hasn't come out yet, but they're actively doing work. Like, I went to the Super Bowl, with them and, like, recorded just some of them out doing the Super Bowl stings in Phoenix because the Super Bowl is one of the highest human trafficking days in the United States.
Oh,
And
wow.
but to see it, like, firsthand, like, I had to, like, go see my shaman, like, several times after that, like, to see it, like, in person,
Yeah.
because we hear about it a lot, but that was, like, completely mind-blowing.
Yeah, well, blessings to you, sister, that you did that. This is such an important so important, this topic. I remember I was in Hawaii, we were shooting a film out there, and I was at a very high level, five-star place, five-star restaurant, and, someone there who I got to know really well was telling me that, human trafficking is big in Hawaii, and particularly at these very, influential kind of resort areas because people don't think it's gonna
Mhm.
happen. Blew my mind. Blew
Yeah,
my mind.
that's one of the big things is, like, with the Super Bowl is you have a lot of higher class businessmen who are going there to party, 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 and I guess that's the next level.
Right?
Yeah.
Not cool, not cool, right? Um, I wanna talk about the influence piece. This is such a passion point for me. Tell people out women entrepreneurs why influence is so important. Why is it
Yeah,
so
and
important?
this is something I talk about quite a bit where I almost wanna get, like, up on my soapbox and be like,
Me
"Listen,
too, me too.
you
I said the same thing this morning.
you why are we creating an influence to, like, sell random products from Amazon, you know? I think it's great that we all make money, but I'm like, when you grow these big audiences, like, why don't you do something with your influence that has an impact? Why don't you use it to share a bigger message? Why don't you use it to, like, give back to, like, a cause that you're into? Like, use your influence to actually make an impact in the world that I know you all wanna see versus just, like, using it to sling products so much, right? I think you can, like, do both very
Yes.
well.
Well, I have my book here because I talk a lot about influence in this book because it's directly linked to your earning power. And when I first jumped into the women entrepreneurs arena, I was a little bit surprised that that dot wasn't being connected. Being in Hollywood for so many years, that dot was connected for me, I think, day one. They were like, "Influence, earning power." I was like, "Oh, okay." Right? And so this has become a real passion point of mine that I want women entrepreneurs to connect the dot, right? Influence is a good thing. It's a good thing. It's part of your earning power. It's our birthright to make money. It's a birthright to have earning
Absolutely.
power, right? I know you believe that. I know you do, sister, right?
Definitely do.
Um, I want to just share this tip really about um, in order for you to move the needle in the business in the marketplace, you got to be sharing your business journey, the ups and the downs. I know you're great at this, right? And I still get pushback, even from my clients, even from my members, still get pushback. I'm like, why? Why are you pushing back on this? Right? People want to emotionally connect with someone that's real. And that means you're going to have ups and you're going to have downs.
Yeah, I haven't quite figured out why even social media from the beginning was presented like so polished and poised when we had such this opportunity to let people know that like what they're going through doesn't mean that they're alone in going through it. And I think that's what, humanizes us and connects us and like helps us get through it.
I totally agree. I remember one of my first mentors in Hollywood, we came out with a movie that, like, bombed, not kind of, I mean, it was global, okay? And he was such a great mentor because he taught me one of the most valuable lessons. He called and he said, "I want us to, catalog every single bad review," and then, he was traveling, he said, "Put them on a seat, get a seat on a plane, and then ship them, get them to me." And I was like, "You wanna read every bad review?" He's like, "Yeah, I do." He's like, "I'm proud of this movie." He's like, "I don't mind the feedback, but I'm not gonna run from the criticism." And I was like, "Bing," right? was very young when I learned that lesson, and that lesson has really stuck with me. Don't run from it. It's okay. It's okay. And share it. Share it. I
Yeah,
share my wins all the time.
I know. That's freaking beautiful because we're, I think, a little programmed just to share our wins and not our losses, you know?
Yeah, I'm like, "No, I had a really terrible week, and let me tell you why." You know? I want people to know that they're not alone out there. I wanna share this. I love the advice that you give in this clip
That's
right
my
here.
usual working look too.
I know. I know, we always have our pen in our hand, like, at any moment, right? This is great advice, everyone. Listen to what Samantha has to say here. It's genius.
As a social media manager, I prioritize one thing always when creating content for myself and for my clients, and that's the profit strategy. So when I sit down to batch out content, I ask myself, is this going to connect with the ideal client and customer? And is this going to actually grow my business? You're putting a lot of energy output into your content, so make sure that you're getting energy back.
Love it. Hello, right? Right? But that's part of the shiny penny, right? Running over here and doing this, running over here and doing this, right? And then we
Yeah,
get we get so distracted.
it's that mentality of like, you know, you see someone who's like, here's how you get your first 10,000 followers. And I'm like, what? Like, you know, and then you got, here's how you do this. And I'm like, well, how are we actually making money? And when I work with my clients before we even start social media, or if I'm like, are you even a good candidate to work with me? I'm like, do you have like profit streams set up? Because if not, like, what the hell are we doing? And you need to make sure they're really good and that everything is flowing to them.
I so agree. I love this strategy. I teach in a training how to get out your calendar. I don't care if it's on your phone or, old school, it doesn't matter to me. And put a dollar sign next to everything that actually makes you money, right? And do it for the month. Okay. And then stand back for a second.
No,
Because
I think you should do that every month, you know?
yeah, do it every month, right? So I went and got a wall calendar. My husband was like, "Do we need this?" I'm like, "Yes, we do." Mine is very chic though. It's fabulous, but
Oh,
still.
mine is so cute. Yeah.
Anyway, I was just like, "What's the problem? It's framed. It's amazing." He's like, But the reason I did that, Samantha, and I have a dollar sign next to everything so I could take a step back. Take a step back. What's not making you money, it doesn't mean it's not important, right? But you gotta have balance, right? It can't be like this. It can't, right? And so we as women entrepreneur bosses out here, right? We will encourage you out there, do this, do what Samantha's encouraging you to do. I'm telling you, game changer. It will change your business if you do this. And I'm so grateful you sent over these B-rolls. Like I was like, oh my God, these are amazing. I knew
That
you
was
had great ones. I watch you on Instagram all the time. I'm like, she's gonna have amazing ones out there. I do have one last piece of I want that I would like for you to share with everyone out there. Um, can you share a piece of advice with the audience members that are on the fence of them being their own trailblazers?
well, first off, like if you're following someone else's trail, you'll kind of end up feeling miserable partway down the road. You know, we all do it. Or like we thought we were setting ourselves up for success that everyone else told us. And then you're like, I actually hate that. So I really just encourage you to look at yourself like even next year, like think about next summer. When you go into next summer, do you still want to be like thinking about doing it or will you have actually done it? And I think that's a really obvious choice.
I agree. I agree. It's not an easy choice. I mean, let's be authentic, right? It's not an easy choice, right?
Uh,
Because you're
See, to
you're
me,
vulnerable.
I'm like, feel like shit or go for it.
I know. Well, and I do, you know what? Every morning when I do my daily habits, the question I ask myself a day, I said, what do you want to say to yourself in 5 years when you look back? What do you want to say to yourself? So do it anyways. Like, who cares if you crash and burn? Then you just have another piece of content to share with the marketplace, anyways, right?
That's
Share your
true.
wins. You share that. I tell you, you get more love when you share that authentic downs than you do with the wins a lot of times. I swear. I swear you do. Again, love, love, love your podcast. I love you on Insta. I watch your reels every day. They're so like I like it when you take us on the road too. I'm like, oh, I wish I was there.
That's good. I'm gonna keep putting that content out. So I love
I
it.
know. Well, of course you are, Samantha, because you're awesome. You're such a trailblazer. Always so impressed by your vulnerability and your courage, and you inspire me and so many others out there. Make sure to listen to Samantha's podcast, everyone. I'll make sure I put in the shout out as well, so you'll be able to get that as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you, I love you, love you. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Samantha. I appreciate you. I'm going to drop you down into the green room. Go grab yourself a mocktail.
Bye, everyone.
And sister, isn't she cool? She's cool. She does way cool stuff. You guys should be following her on Insta, right? Because she definitely inspires. She inspires me all the time. I'm like, if she can do that, I'm gonna do that. Um, I want you all to join me for another episode. It's every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific Coast time and 10 a.m. Central Time. And join me. I always have another inspiring woman entrepreneur out there who is very authentic, who shares real, tangible tips, strategies, tools, and resources that you can implement to make your personal and professional life more ease and grace, bring more ease and grace to that. And until next time, everyone, I love you. I will love you. I love you. And it is your birthright to stand in your spotlight and be a superstar woman entrepreneurs, everyone. Bye-bye. Ciao.